Season 0 of Marvel Rivals kicked off something special within the hero shooter genre. Now, almost a month after release, we are days away from Season 1, which is looking to produce double what Season 0 did. From huge reveals to confirmed details from leaks, we have a lot to cover regarding Season 1, so let's get straight to it. Diving straight into Season 1, it is called Eternal Night Falls. The season will feature 4 new characters and will be split into 2 6 to 7 week long sessions. Alongside those new characters, we're also getting 3 new maps under Empire of Eternal Night. First being Sanctum Sanctorum, second one being Midtown, and the third one being Central Park. Season 1 theme will be centered around Dracula's reign over New York with the Darkhold, giving the season a darker tone than before. Like I just mentioned, this season will be cut into 2 halves with 2 characters releasing in the first half and then 2 more coming in the second half. The entire season will be around 3 months long. For the first half of the season, the characters that will be releasing is Sue Storm and Reed Richards, with The Thing and Human Torch coming near the second half. Alongside that, we are also getting a new game mode with the Sanctum Sanctorum called Doom Match. Now, with all that covered, let's get into some changes coming to the characters we're already familiar with. Starting with the nerfs, the first 2 characters that are getting nerfed in the game are Hela and Hawkeye. To be honest, after hours of playing, it's not really a surprise to me. The focus behind these buffs are reducing the range prowess of these 2 characters, so expect some sort of damage drop off or range nerfs coming to the 2 to allow other range characters to shine. On the opposite side of things, we are getting buffs to more mobile vanguards like Captain America and Venom. Alongside these 2 tanks, we're also getting some much needed buffs to Storm and Wolverine, making them much more formidable DPSs. Rounding out the buffs, we have Cloak and Dagger. As a Cloak and Dagger main, this came as a complete surprise to me, and I'm very curious to see what they have in store for this buff. Finally, we have Jeff the Land Shark, not necessarily a buff or nerf depending on how you look at it, but more of a fine tuning to his ultimate to improve the detection range to make it closer to other characters' ult detection range. Moving on from that, we're going into more technical things. We are finally getting pick and win rates on Marvel Rivals website. Expect these to drop every half season, which is interesting because we most likely might see most of these seasons be split into 2 halves in the future, and they will include all platforms. In addition to this, they will be adding a new rank this season called Celestial that will be after Grandmaster rank and below Eternity rank, so that should be pretty exciting and balance out the rank system a little bit more. With all these new additions, if you're worried about or have had PC performance issues, don't worry, because additional settings are coming to improve player experience and performance. In my opinion, is a much needed fix. With all that info covered, I wanted to do a little deeper dive into 2 characters that we'll be seeing in the game in a couple days from now. Jumping into the character breakdown, if you haven't seen my other leak video where we break down leaks in detail, go check it out because the leaks seem to be spot on for Mr. Fantastic's abilities. Getting our first look at Mr. Fantastic, he looks like an absolute beast. His main fire packs a punch, no pun intended, reminding me of a longer range group primary fire with an insane combo potential with his double grab ability. Not only that, but having a shift counter to projectile ultimates like Iron Man is for sure going to propel him to a very high pick rate, as well as his ability to basically turn into a tank, combined with a devastating ground pound ultimate is going to make him a problem for sure. A small detail that I noticed while watching was his shield team up ability with presumably Sue Storm. While we didn't see it in action, my guess is that it will be some sort of shield bubble similar to Magneto or Hulk, making him even more like a tank as a DPS. Before we move on to Sue, honestly the only thing I gotta say is that he already looks like he's going to be a high tier DPS for the simple fact that he is so tank like with still the damage output of a DPS. Moving on to Sue Storm, she honestly was a complete surprise because we didn't have an ability breakdown, nor did we even see that she would be coming so early because of her developmental stage. But honestly, after watching her reveal, she looks like she can definitely make a splash amongst the strategists. Her kit looks formidable with a good combination of offense and defense like the other top tier strategists. For her primary fire, it's a 10-round shot that ricochets back to her, seemingly allowing you to heal multiple teammates or damage multiple enemies. Not only that, but when watching her fight Thor in the preview, we can see that she shoots, it hits him, and then comes back to her, making 2 impacts, the initial shot and then another hit on the way back. Not only can she turn herself invisible as a passive, I'm guessing kind of like Luna's snow skating, but she can also shield teammates and even has a movement with a double jump that gives her a quick second of invisibility. She has a psionic burst that can be launched outwards or inwards, dealing damage to enemies, but can also bring them closer to your team or push them off the map. On top of all this, she also has a force burst AoE that deals damage to enemies and presumably heals teammates, but we don't know for sure yet. And the icing of the cake is her ult that creates a giant field of invisibility for the team and heals teammates within the ultimate. So a ricochet primary, a push-pull enemies, shield teammates, damage vortex, invisibility as a passive and throughout her double jump, and a pretty solid ultimate. Sue Storm might be able to break out into top tier strategists alongside Luna and Mantis. Alongside the two characters, they're also getting some crazy good skins, with Mr. Fantastic, if you're a comic book fan, is getting a Maker skin, which is absolutely wild, and Sue is getting a Malice skin, which looks incredible. They definitely cooked with these two skins, and honestly, that Sue Storm skin is going to sell like crazy for more reasons than one, considering the fan base. If you know, you know. Speaking of skins, the Battle Pass is absolutely stacked with skins this time around, having 10 skins. Yeah, you heard that right, 10 skins. And all of them are honestly absolutely fire, I can't even lie. First up, we have a Loki skin that we've seen in very recent leaks. It's called the All Butcher, and honestly a very clean looking skin for Loki mains. Also on page 1 is a Moon Knight skin. Although it's just a recolor, it's still a very clean recolor, and it's called Blood Moon Knight. Next up on page 2 is a skin that we've seen before in the beta. Rocket is finally getting his Bounty Hunter skin back, so that should be exciting for Rocket mains. Flipping over to the next page, Penny is also getting a recolor skin called Blue Tarantula, and by the name you can infer that it's going to be all blue. We are finally getting the House of M Magneto skin called King Magnus, which looks insanely clean, I can't even lie to you. Moving on is another comic book inspired skin, this time for Namor, called Savage Submariner. Probably the second best skin on this battle pass in my opinion. On page 7, an original Iron Man skin called Blood Edge Armor. It looks insane. And the follow-up to that skin on the next page is my personal favorite skin slash best skin in the battle pass, and it's another Marvel Rivals original. Adam Warlock is getting a skin called Blood Soul. Nearing the end of the battle pass, we have a Wanda skin that has been floating around for a while in leaks, called Emporium Matron, and the final skin of the battle pass is a completely original Marvel Rivals skin for Wolverine called Blood Berserker. If you're wondering about pricing, the battle pass will be $9.90 Lattice, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, and the Maker skin alongside the Malice skin for Reed and Sue will be costing around 1,600 units in the store. In addition to all those skins, it looks like you can also earn a free OG Thor skin by completing the events tab, which is a great thing because who doesn't love free stuff? And speaking of free stuff, just like last season, there will be a Twitch drop skin this season, this time being Hela, and honestly it's around the same coloration as the Magneto skin. That's pretty much all I got for you guys as of the 8th. I'm pretty sure more info will drop tomorrow on the 9th, but on screen will be the alleged drop times for season 1. Make sure to drop a sub, as I will be dropping a leaks video in the coming weeks covering old and new leaks, being that we always get a ton of leaks during these new big patches. Also, thank you to all the new supporters. You guys have been going ham, which is making me go crazy to want to make more and more content. That's pretty much all I got for you guys on this one, and I will catch you on the next one.